YouTube, what's going on? It's Richard, founder of STRU and Airbnb Superhost. And today's video is what may well be the single best trade that you do in 2019. So you may have heard some of my Facebook Lives and in other places I've been talking about the fact that the tide is changing. It's been really easy to make a lot of money on Airbnb. The rising tide lifts all ships. In a rising stock market, pick any stock, you're going to look like a champion stock picker. It's really easy to make a lot of money. Well, on Airbnb, it's been a really good run. However, as I look forward in the future, I see it becoming much more challenging. Not to suggest that we're not going to do really well. I think the people that do really well are going to do exceptionally well. The opportunity's never been better. But I think in that middle section, it's going to be like a rugby scrum where they all come together and they're trying to chase that same one guest. You don't want to be in that scrum. You want to stand apart. So the challenge and the opportunity, the single best trade that you might do in 2019 is to take a look at yourself in the mirror, a real honest assessment. How good is my current location? How good is my current investment or investments? If I have 5 different locations in a certain location, is that my optimal opportunity set going forward? If I trust and I believe what Richard says, and what he says makes sense to me, I'm seeing competition. Maybe I'm not quite as profitable as I used to be. Do I want to keep struggling with what I've currently got? Now, being an entrepreneur is hard. There is adversity to overcome. There are struggles that do require you to overcome. But if you're just in that middle scrum where you've got a very generic, plain vanilla, nondescript, looks like a corporate apartment in the kind of off-market location, it's not the best location, then maybe the best opportunity for you in 2019 is to put that thing on the market for sale and start to identify better zip codes, better locations, better cash engines with more rent roll coming back in, higher rates of return. So stop and think about that for a second. Instead of reinvesting all of your time and energy in something that we think is going to be mediocre on a go-forward basis, or maybe it's not even mediocre, maybe it's like subpar. Maybe it worked really well when you got launched 2 years ago, made a lot of money, and now you're hitting that sort of ceiling and you're wondering, why isn't it working? Why can't I increase my prices? Why am I not having the same occupancy? Boy, there's a lot of hosting, there's a lot of competitors, like a lot of competition. This isn't really what it felt like before. There are places where that's not exactly the case, where you still have pricing opportunity. You can still generate a lot of cash flow. And it might just be a better location in your neighborhood. It might be a bigger unit. It might be a unit that has more flavor. You know, something with like a Spanish Mediterranean villa flair as opposed to a corporate apartment. You know, I'm just making real generic examples, but I want to get you to think, because often what we do as entrepreneurs is we dig down. We dig in our heels. We're going to, overcome every adversity, every challenge, every obstacle. We do not quit. We just keep going and going and going. And in the face of adversity, we dig down and we just keep going. Well, that's really great stamina and perseverance, and I applaud you for that. But I want you to use your mind first. Knowing what you know and knowing what I've suggested is going to happen in the next 10 years of Airbnb, is the current location and the home or the apartment that you're investing in, is that worth you digging in and persevering, or is that futile? Would you be better off spending that time and energy, money and resources in another location? I think many of you are going to find that that other location is actually superior. And I'm going to ask you to stretch beyond your self-limiting beliefs and think about a remote location. It doesn't even have to be in your backyard. So if you're in the middle of some location and it doesn't really seem to be working, don't look for a better property close by just because you think that'll be better. Broaden your horizons, expand your search, look everywhere in the country, look everywhere internationally. I'm going to Costa Rica next week and I'm going to look there for international exposure to diversify some of my US geographic concentration. I'm spread out all around the country, but that's still US specific concentration. Now I want international portfolio exposure. So start to look broadly, stretch your horizons and look everywhere in the world. And once you do that, then assuming you reinvest in the US, for us US viewers, utilize a 1031 exchange so that you don't pay taxes. It's a beautiful thing. It's a gift from the heavens. If you don't know what that is, go ahead and leave a comment or email me or DM me, but it's a way to defer all of your capital gains and roll them over into your next investment property and not pay any taxes, which is an unbelievable gift from the heavens, so you should take advantage of that. So just let's recap here. The best thing you could do in 2019. I know you're wired for growth and you're trying to expand and you want more units, and I get that. That makes perfect sense. I'm an entrepreneur too. But stop and pause and use your mind for a second. If you don't have the right assets right now, if you don't have the right asset allocation, the right diversification, the right locations, the right unit size, something that has flair and experience and location and personality, the future is going to be very rough for you. So rather than wait for it to get rough and then sell at a discount, because all of those are going to come down, everybody's going to be selling at the same time, there's going to be market pressure down, let's get ahead of the curve and start to identify places that really make a lot of sense. And if you identify places that make a lot of sense and you fall in love with them, let's use a 1031 exchange, exit the old, enter the new, and get ready to ride the next wave for the new story, for the next journey, which I think will be brighter than ever. But the best thing you could do is to really think about this and give it some thought. So go ahead and comment below. Let me know if this is something that you would consider doing, or if you are doing, or if this makes a lot of sense and you're going to do it. And I'd love to see a lot of you say you're going to do it, because I know there's a lot of generic stuff out there that's just going to be like, and then it's going to go, So let's not get there, friends. Sometimes the best trade you can do is to take a loss or to sell. Get out, reinvest, move forward. That was lesson number 1 on the trading floor from day 1. Sometimes the best thing you can do is sell. Do not get stuck to your position, ever. So, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and if this makes sense and you want help identifying profitable opportunities, come see me in Nashville, where I'm teaching exactly how to identify the right locations and the right homes. And all you need to do is click on the link above. Thank you very much, friends. Let's go!